and hopefully Wilma will come on.
Hi, Addison. Thanks for coming. Okay, Barbara, I can say the pre-talking points right now, if that's okay.
Okay, Wilma's still not here, right?
No, I don't see her.
Okay. Why don't you start to give you a little spiel, Kevin, and then I'll get started with the first one.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. If this is your first time joining us virtually, you will notice that you are currently muted, and everyone will remain muted throughout the meeting, except for the committee co-chairs, Barbara and Wilma, and any presenters as we move through the agenda. As we move through the agenda, the co-chairs will call on members of the public wishing to speak. You can participate by going to React icon on your device and pressing the raise hand button, not the wave for thumbs up, as those will disappear. Only press it once. If you press it a second time, your hand will go back down. If you are calling in on the phone, it is *9 to raise hand and *6 to unmute. Be on the lookout for a prompt asking you to confirm unmuting once the co-chairs call on you. The chat is available for technical support only to help with Zoom software problems, not to ask questions of the co-chairs. They will not see the chats. If you're using an older version of Zoom, you'll need to go to the participants section where you will find the raise hand feature there. Please do not raise your actual hand or wave at the screen because we may not be able to see you. Chat me, I'm here for support. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll get started. Thank you, Kevin, as always, for organizing this, and Will. We have a fairly full agenda today, so we're going to get started with the first item, which is Final Fever, which sounds very exciting. From Hunter College, is somebody here? It's a full street closure between East 69th Street between Lex and Park, and it's on May 14th from noon to 4. Is somebody here from there?
Hi, yes, I'm here from Hunter College. My name is Tania Wooten. I'm the Assistant Director of Student Activities and Leadership Development.
Thank you. Tell us a little bit about it. This is the first time you're having this event?
This is actually the second time we're having this particular event in this area between 69th, between Park and Lex. We usually have what's called, we usually have it in the fall, but we had it in the fall between 3rd and Park. But now we're bringing it back over to 69th between Park and Lexington Avenues. It's the end of the year carnival to celebrate our graduates. We usually have about 1,000 participants, give or take. We are having food for the students, a caricaturist, and airbrush t-shirts for the students.
So I see that you're having something called New Jersey Casino for food.
Yes, we've been partnering with them on our events for over 10 years. We've been using the same event vendor to provide our food for that event.
And their trucks, I assume.
They don't have an actual food truck. What it is that they have a setup with a grill, and we have hamburgers, hot dogs, chips, water for the students, and they go in a line and just get the food, and they either stay at the carnival or take it inside of the building to eat.
So one of the things we care about if you're using public streets is that it's open to the public, not just to walk by, but
Yes.
the public would not be able to eat the food.
Yes, it is open to the public. They would be able to eat. They would just simply tell us that they're a member of the public, and we'll give them a ticket, and the ticket they give to the vendor to get the food.
Oh, so it is totally open. That's great.
Yes, it is.
This is not a truck, but it's just regular food like that.
Yes.
Was it called, for whatever reason, I didn't remember this name. I remember Hunter doing things. It was called Final Fever before?
It was called, what we do in the fall is called Welcome Week Carnival.
Yes.
The Final Fever, this is our second time posting it on the street. We usually have it inside in the West Lobby, but our population is growing. So it's easier for us to have it outside where the students can enjoy it.
Great. That's great. And what other activities would you have?
During the event
And
itself,
face painting or no, drawing?
the caricaturist and airbrush t-shirts.
Oh, great.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions? I don't see any. Do you, Kevin, if you could help me?
If anyone has any questions, you can raise your virtual hand.
I do see one.
Yes, I'm here.
Um,
Barbara.
hi, Barbara. It's
Hi,
Judy.
Judy.
Move to approve.
And I
I'll second it.
Great, good, thank you.
I'll call the question.
Great.
Second.
And anybody not voting for cause, voting no, abstaining? Thank you. Wilma's still not here?
Wilma is here, but
Oh,
Wilma,
wonderful, Wilma.
you're not, Wilma, I don't think you're connected to audio. Okay.
Is she not?
No, she's connected to video only, but not audio.
Maybe she could email you her votes.
That's a good idea.
Or, I don't know. I mean, we've tried it before and it isn't great. If she wants to call me up, I could put it on speaker. Because I wanted her to take the next one. Does Wilma hear us talking?
Wilma, feel free to give me a call or shoot me a message or an email.
Yeah, maybe call you, Kevin, and
I'm going to leave everyone on the community board unmuted, so Bradley is here as well. So we have
Bradley's here too. Great.
Barbara,
Bradley,
we have Addison, Judy, Bradley, and Wilma. We have 5 people.
and Bradley, you voted yes also, I assume. Am I right?
Yeah.
So it's 5-0-0. Wonderful. Great. Thank you, Bradley.
If you needed help switching off between them, I'm happy to read some of them out loud if that's helpful for you.
Okay, it's just that this is something important. But let's do the 92nd Street, and I think Wilma could call in if there's a problem with it.
And Wilma, maybe there's the you maybe have a prompt in the middle of your screen just says connect to audio. Maybe you can just hit that if that's on your screen. But if you're having trouble, feel free to
Yeah,
give me a
I will read it. Meanwhile, it's the 92nd Street Green Market, which is Sundays. Which is actually our Grow NYC, which we all love. And the sidewalk and curb closures on First Avenue and the east side of East 92nd Street to 93rd Street. And it's Sundays from June 23rd to November 24th. Anybody from the Green Market here?
Kathy Chambers is here. Good evening.
Great. Hi, Kathy. Good. I know there was an issue, and that's why I wanted Wilma, because she lives there. There was an issue about it taking up too much of the room. Is that been solved, or?
The market was moved over to 94 between 93rd and 95th Street because of construction. This year it's being moved back in front of the Holmes Towers.
Because there's no more construction?
Yeah, the construction is over. I got a letter of support from the Holmes Towers, Upper Green Side, and I think about 100 signatures that I sent in.
Okay. I don't know whether Wilma would have anything to say. I'm not sure quite what to do. She didn't call in.
We met with her last year because she always wants to have more room on the sidewalk.
Right.
So we met with her last year when we were between 93rd and 95th and made some more room. But the street activities permits only require 5 feet of room, but we always try to make more than that if we can.
Because people are in wheelchairs and baby carriages and things like that. So it's.
Yeah, we try to make more, more space as we can. And they also got the bus stop there. So we
That's
can only
right.
do so much. We have the 5 feet that's required for all city permits, but we try to make more than that.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin, you haven't heard from Wilma, I assume. Am I right?
No.
Okay. Is she on camera at all?
Yes, but just
Maybe
not
she could
audio.
wave if there's Wilma, wave if you have anything you want to say. Okay. Anybody want to call the question?
I'll call the question.
Thank you. Brad, want to second it?
Second.
Okay. Addison? Oh, that's calling the question. Is it anybody not voting for cause, not voting no or abstaining? Great. I'm going to assume that since we didn't see anything, that that's true with Wilma also. Okay, number 3 is the
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing. I have a question. Are you
Sure.
going to have a fish market there? I
Do
never
we
saw
have,
one there, and somebody said there is a fish, somebody selling fish there, the way they do on 82nd.
I don't think at the 92nd Street, at the 82nd Street one
I know
there
they
is.
do. Okay.
Yeah.
Best fish there,
Uh,
so maybe bring
okay.
them over. Okay, great.
Yeah, we'll try, we'll see what we can get over there this year.
Okay, great, thanks.
It's our 18th year this year.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
Great, thank you so much for doing it. Okay, number 3 is AH Volunteer Fair. It's sponsored by the Advent Hope Incorporation. It's a full street closure from East 87th Street between Lex and 3rd. And it's on June 1st from 11 to 2 p.m.
Sorry, Barbara, to interrupt. Sorry, Raquel. But Wilma, I think you are connected to audio now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Did you have any questions for the 92nd Street Market?
Who, me? Did you?
Still can't talk? No.
Can
Can you
hear me?
unmute? You have to click the unmute button.
I did.
I can hear her, Barbara.
I did click
Kevin, do
unmute.
you have any suggestions?
No, I can hear Wilma. Wilma, I can hear her.
I can hear Barbara.
Do you hear us? Shake your head yes
Yeah,
or no if you hear us.
I did.
Is there anything you want to say more about the 92nd Street Market?
No, nothing.
Yes or no? Shake your head. You can.
No.
We can't hear you, so you have to shake your head yes or
I think
no.
we can hear Wilma. I
No?
think
Okay.
there's something.
Great. So we'll go on to the 3rd one. Is somebody from the AH Volunteers here?
Okay, so that is Raquel Pierre.
I
Or
don't
you
have an
wanna
answer
call?
for that. Is there something else I can help with?
What was that about? Is anybody from AH Volunteers here? Maybe I'll put my phone up. Is that Addison calling?
All right, Raquel. Okay, I think Barbara, we should move on.
Okay, so it's welcome back from summer at the Cathedral of the Holy Trinity. Is there a representative there here from there? It's for full street closure at East 74th Street between 1st and 2nd Avenue on Saturday, September 21st, from 9 to 5 p.m. Is there
Yes,
a representative?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm here and one of the board members as well. So TD, he's over there too. He got his hand raised.
Okay.
Let me see.
Could you tell us a little bit about the event?
Yes. Sorry, Rich, you want me to chime in here?
You could lead, sure.
We are planning on doing our first annual cathedral block party. We want to do it in the fall in September, and it'll be open to the entire community, and it's a way for welcoming the community back from after the summer. We'll have both our church participating, our school, and we also have a hall. We're located on the 74th Street between 1st and 2nd Avenue. So we would end up having.
Oh, we skipped one. Okay. Which one? We're doing the welcome back. Okay.
The welcome back party.
We'll go back to the other one. Thank you.
And we plan on having activity.
And are you going to have food? I think it was no food. Am I right?
No, there'll be food and
I don't
games.
know why they're doing this.
This is a new event.
Is this me?
Is this a new event?
This
Are
is
you going to have food?
Wait, can Barbara hear me?
Yes, we will be having food as well.
Okay, I'm gonna
Something's
be
wrong
quiet from now
with
on.
my
Because Barbara can't, I don't think I could be heard. That's all
I'm
right.
sorry, Richard and so Terry, can you give us a second as we figure out technical issues? Apologies about that.
No problem.
So sorry about that. Give us 1 second. All right, Barbara, I'm sending you on mute, and Richard and so Thierry. So sorry about that.
Muted, and I don't know. It sounds like it's Siri that's going on. I have no idea why. That's never happened before.
Can you hear me, Barbara?
Yes. I hear
Okay,
you.
now you can. Okay, good. Okay.
Okay, so number 4, there, do you want to continue with number 4 and ask questions, Wilma? I'm sorry,
Yeah,
everybody. This is
number 4 is the welcome back from summer, right?
That's
right.
correct.
Okay. We're in the middle of the asking about food and is this a new event?
It is a new event. It's the first time that we'd be hosting it.
I see. Okay. And you will be serving kind of food.
Yes, we will have food and also games for the young children.
And will the
Okay,
food
what
be
kind of
trucks?
food? Wait a minute,
It's
Barbara.
Will it be
Go ahead.
trucks?
Yes, Barbara, go ahead.
yes, we anticipate having both food truck and also have Greek specialty dishes offered on the interior from our hall. So that way that'll be not only a block party, but it would flow through our space as well, where there will be foods and knickknacks and different cultural items for sale and for viewing.
And that won't be open to the public, I assume. Is that right?
Everything will be open to the public.
Even the indoors?
Yes,
And the food will be open to the public too?
correct.
And did I see that you haven't gotten your permits yet?
We've submitted for the application. I believe Richard has, if you want to chime in, Richard, in regards to the permits.
Yeah, we we haven't received the permit yet. As far as the different vendors, as far as like the games and stuff like that, we're solidifying that stuff. So obviously those are the things that are left that we need to give them to get the approval for the event. But everything's in process. We already filed, of
So
course.
you will have it. You wouldn't do anything, you can't have it.
Absolutely, yeah. Everything will.
That's great. Okay. That's all the questions I have. Wilma, do you have others?
No.
Anybody,
I did, but go ahead. That's all right. Go ahead.
anybody want to call the question?
We have a hand up
from the public.
Okay. Hi.
Hi, everyone. I am a resident here of Community Board 8. And my question is, specifically regarding, in this process, or if it is a new event, one of the questions also asks if there's going to be speakers and if that has been requested from as per the instructions from the NYPD. The Hunter event that is part of the agenda is on May 14th. I'll also just raise that it is also very close to the Police Precinct 19.
Mhm.
And they're asking to close 68th Street. And it is also a new event on the application. And, you know, we should also be asking if those permits have been requested as is part, you know, because people in the community are concerned, not just for myself, but for, you know, making sure that the precinct, which is very close, is only a block away, is, you know, not being disrupted by this event in particular. So just to be a little, so
Right.
that's my question. I'm not speaking on behalf of, you know, I'm not making a statement as part of, you know, I'm a member of any board or anything.
Right.
I'm a resident currently residing here, and that is, you know,
I'd like to say something about this, please.
Sure.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Okay. First of all applicants have to fill out a form. And in the form, they are requesting that they get all the permits and they know this in the form. So they are not going to let them give this a fair, even though they're the first time. They may not know all the rules. They're not going to permit this unless everything is in good order. And maybe, Barbara, we can do a resolution to say that these permits have to be in order before they start this fair, which is in September. So they have enough time to get it together.
In other words, a stipulation to say we approve it. But I'm going to add one other thing to what Wilma said. If you see on the agenda, there's something you can click on. We have something we now call Addison's form because Addison was a member of our community board that actually created it, that was pre-filled out. So the reason I asked about the permits on this one is I did see when I read it that they hadn't finalized it yet. Every other one has said they finalized their permits. And that's why I asked. But yes, I agree. So do you want to make the resolution? Did we answer your
I can make
question?
it.
Can you please just repeat that? It was a little bit, it was
Yeah.
like waking up, a
On
little
the
choppy.
agenda, under each one, if you click, you will see that we sent each applicant a form to fill out. It's brand new. This is the first time.
I did review the agenda and also the instructions. That's why I was just double checking, just
Right. And the reason I asked
to
specifically
make sure,
about this
you know,
one,
especially now due to some of the
right. So the reason I asked about this one is on that form, they had said they had not finalized it yet, and I was just double checking. All the others have said if they are having music, if they are having something that they have gotten the permits already. So the street wouldn't be closed without the permits. So thank you for asking. And I think you're absolutely right, Wilma. Do you want to make a resolution? Do you understand? I don't want to go on without, do you understand what I'm saying? Is that we're secure that everybody has their permits except for this one that we're talking about.
which one is that? I'm sorry, the
This
connection. I
is
don't know if I was,
number 4, which is Welcome Back for the Summer, which is sponsored by the Archdiocese of the Cathedral.
Okay, so just to reiterate, you're saying that the permits that were required, if need be, prior to submitting it to the board, now everyone's gotten that, and it's still valid from the NYPD or any other,
Right.
even the new events.
Right.
Okay.
And
Okay,
this one was just there, it's pending, and that's why.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's why, Wilma, do you want to make a resolution? And I think you'd understand.
I do think that it should be understood that this this agency to make sure that their permits are in order for this to be approved. The police department is not going to approve it without it, but they're not prepared or it's pending, so we really can't vote that much on it. all we can do is do what we're doing now, is do a stipulation on the issue.
Okay,
Yeah,
can
so
I,
I'm happy to make that
Time
resolution.
in order.
can I read to you what I think you're saying
Yes.
that I would write? That it's approved with the stipulation that all permits are finalized before the event.
Exactly. That's
All
good.
necessary, maybe all necessary.
Yeah. Well, necessary when right. That's better. Yes.
I assume that the applicant is agreeable with that.
Yes, we are.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you. That's good.
anybody want
Okay.
to call the,
I'll call the
I've
question.
got a question. Oh, Addison. Hi, Addison.
Hi, Wilma.
I'll
How are you?
second for second.
okay, but do you, who has a question? You have a question? You're calling the question? I didn't hear you.
I have, Barbara, I have a question.
Okay, I heard somebody. Sure.
I'm a little confused. We're talking about the Holy Trinity Church on 74th Street?
Yes.
That's correct.
So I don't understand the lady from the public that spoke about having confusion with the police, which is on 67th Street. I mean, there's quite a distance between the two of them.
She was bringing up the first one, the Hunter College one. So she was just saying that was another example. Do they have a permit? Because I didn't specifically ask about the permit. And the reason I didn't answer is if you look for those forms, they said that they had the permit. So I didn't bother. The reason I questioned this one is because in the form, they said it was pending and they didn't have it. And I just wanted to make sure.
Okay, now I understand. I didn't understand what was going on. Okay.
So I was questioning all of them. Thank you. What's the question called?
Yes, it was.
So with the stipulation, are we all voting, anybody not voting no, voting not for cause or abstaining? Great, and it's still 5 of us? Okay. I'll go back to 3.
They didn't come in yet on the call. That's why we skipped it.
Oh, is that why I was?
Are they here now?
My phone. So is 3 still not here, Kevin?
If anyone here is representative for the AH Volunteer Fair, please let me know. Please send me a message as soon as possible. Thank you.
Now we're on number 5 now, right, Audra?
You want to do it?
Where the Madison Avenue Welcome Back Saturday's launch, sponsored by 6086 Madison Avenue District Management Association. For full street closure at 72nd Street between Madison Avenue and 5th Avenue, Saturday, September 21st, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Is there a representative here to explain this event?
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Matt Bauer. I'm the president of the Madison Avenue Business Improvement District. And just thank you for putting us on the agenda this afternoon. The event, as you heard, is an event supporting the businesses that are on Madison Avenue in our district from 57th to 86th Street. It's part of our annual Welcome Back Saturday event. The date of the event, September 21, is obviously a weekend. It also happens to be the day of the Steuben Day Parade. And why do I bring that up? It's significant. Instead of doing a street closure and closing a street that wouldn't be closed otherwise, we're requesting that programming take place on 72nd Street between Madison and 5th when the street's already closed by the police department for the Steuben Day Parade because of the blockage. This is what we did actually 2 years ago when the same event was held, the way it's being done now. We're repeating it again because it was quite successful 2 years ago. So let me give you the
show, the antique autos.
Yeah, exactly. So
oh my gosh, the years are passing too quickly. I thought it was last year.
Oh yeah, no, we actually didn't do it last year
Wow.
because of
Okay.
the dates of when the street was already closed, because we can't really close an additional street. That's part of the issue. But the timing wasn't working, and actually joined by Janine McGoldrick from the New York City Concours, which is helping us produce that portion of the event. So essentially, what takes place is early in the morning. The antique cars come to the avenue. This is actually a judged car event or antique car event, and they're all quite beautiful vehicles, actually, and they are showcased on the avenue, actually on 72nd Street, I should say. Between the south side of the street and sort of the middle of the north, the fire lane is kept along the north side of 72nd Street. So there's a fire lane maintained at all times along the north curb lane of 72nd Street. So during the event, there is this show. We will have actually informal modeling from some of the stores that are on Madison Avenue, the new looks. We have a jazz trio also performing during that period of time. So same actually group that we had a few years ago that people did like. In addition, the stores themselves are hosting events with some of the car collectors prior to the beginning of the show, and then after. We'll also have other programming on the street that within the stores themselves and just outside the stores that the stores are doing just to welcome people back from the holidays.
I'm not closing the street.
Excuse me?
Not closing the street.
Right, not closing the street.
Never.
Madison is not closed to traffic. And only closing that block because that's the block that was already being essentially closed.
Right.
And that obviously we're working with the 19th precinct to make that to get that
Right.
work.
And you're not having any food?
No food. There's no food. There's no vendors or anything like that. There is amplified sound. The amplified sound specifically is for the jazz trio, and the announcements where they announce the winners of the show, and also we will have it for informal modeling, but no other nothing else. I should tell you this model has been used very successfully by a number of other streets that are our competitors around the country. It really does bring customers. It does support the retailers, which is why we're doing it. It's programming for the street just to make something special for the return to shopping here on Madison Avenue after people being away from the sun.
You're promising that we'll all look as good as the model looks with the clothing.
Absolutely.
Do you need a permit for the amplified sound? Sometimes
yes, we will get a sound permit. Absolutely. We did not apply for the sound permit yet. We usually apply for that much closer to the event, but we apply for many sound permits over the year. But that would be something issued by the 19th. This is specifically for SAPO.
Right. Thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
questions?
I was just going to put a motion on the floor to approve this as presented.
Second.
Thank you. And it's good to see you, Matt.
Thanks so much, Asa. Thank you.
Good. It's always a nice affair also.
Thanks.
Anybody voting no, not voting for cause, abstaining? Great.
Okay, good.
Oh, we seem to have a question from the public. I know.
Oh, sorry.
just
Okay.
No, I just wanted to take a second to just acknowledge, thank you for thoroughly, I'm not explaining every single question that's on the application, and including to the fire lane, and that I just want to take a second to just acknowledge that you went question by question, and that was good, and good for our community too, as far as, Madison Avenue. And I just want to, just special note to the fire lane, because that was important. And yes, there's still 90 days to get that sound.
You like the form?
Well, I like that the answer, whoever this person
we
is
can
that
make
is
Addison
presenting that,
sign.
yes, it's nice to just give
Idea and
things.
Addison's brainwork
It's
and
nice
Will's
to give
work.
thanks and acknowledge that, you know, that it didn't leave me to have questions. So I just want to say thank you.
That's why we call it Addison's form.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for saying that. Is there another hand up that I see? No. Okay.
Okay, so we're on number 6 now, right?
So number
Thank
3
you.
has not come, am I right? Wilma, do you want to take number 6?
I think we need to vote. I call the question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I asked. Anybody voting no, not voting for cause of abstaining? Great. Thank you. Wilma, do you want to take number 6?
Okay. It is the St. James Church Fall Picnic, sponsored by St. James Church Fall Picnic. Full street closure at 71st Street between Madison Avenue and Park Avenue on Sunday, September 8th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Is there a representative to talk about this
Yes,
event?
I'm
Hi.
here. Grace Beecham. This is something we've been doing for, gosh, I've been on staff 20 years and I inherited it. So I think 25 or 30 years. We usually use Brother Jimmy's, which was a neighborhood barbecue fried chicken place for a long time until they went out of business. And in recent years have had it catered by a caterer we use. Last year, we ended up getting bagels from a local bagel place because we were doing it a little bit earlier than usual. It used to not start until like 11:30, but now it starts at 11. Our food, the last 2 years, we've been disappointed because it's always been a beautiful fall September day, but the last 2 years it's rained on us. And last year we thought we were gonna eke through it and it wasn't going to rain, and we set everything up and everything got drenched. So we now have decided to do the food indoors. It's open to the public. Anybody can come in to our fellowship hall, and it's just easier than worrying about if the food's going to be ruined or not. Usually the fire trucks come from the local fire department, and the firemen eat with us. The doormen on the block eat with us. Everybody gets a letter from me a couple weeks in advance on the block to invite them and their families. It's real simple. We have a balloon. We have 2 balloon artists and spin art and children's games, and everybody just kind of wanders around. We'll probably still eat outside if it's not raining, but we'll serve the food inside.
And the food will come from?
We don't know yet because since it's earlier than we used to do. We're trying to decide if we're going to do bagels again or not. The committee's not meeting until June to decide that, but
okay. So it won't be a truck, of course, or
no truck.
Right. Any questions?
They're closing a street and they're going to do it inside only if it rains, but they have in the street closed from 11 to 2 anyway. Or
well,
the activities that you have for the games and balloons, is that going to be inside or outside?
No, everything will be outside according to weather, except for the serving of the food will be inside, just to be on the safe side that we almost got ruined last year. So
soggy bagels don't taste so good.
Yeah, they don't taste so hot. Yeah.
Any other questions? Anybody want to call the question?
I'll do it.
Great, thanks.
Great, thank you.
Judy's going to.
Any questions for the public at all? No?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Anybody voting no, not voting for cause or abstain?
We have a comment from the member of the public.
Okay, great.
Oh, I'm sorry, maybe I missed this because sometimes the connection becomes unstable. Is the event open to the public?
Always.
Yes,
Okay.
always.
One of our hard lines that if it's not open, we
Yes,
say
I
we
saw
will
that.
never accept it, but it's one of, if you're using our streets, we want to know the public can not only go down the street, but actually partake when it's on the street. So this is extra nice because we're partaking inside also, which is very generous and very nice. Okay.
And the balloon artists, if it's children going by and they're just walking up to the park, that's open to the public. Everything's open to the public.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining? Great, so I'm going to say it's 5. So number 3 has still not come, am I right?
No, I left her a voicemail. I sent her an email. No response. No.
Okay, I'm going to take the next one and talk about it. So Kevin invited the museum mile, but they had something else they had to do. They had the Met Gala today. So we felt that was a very good excuse for not coming, although we could have invited all of us and we could have held it there, but they didn't. So what we're going to do is talk about it, and there's a little bit to talk about. They're also coming to the Land Use Committee, which is on Wednesday. And so if somebody votes yes and then decides to vote no, we'll have a chance to re-vote on it on Wednesday if something is said that we don't want. One of the issues last year, I think it was, is what streets are they closing? It says they're closing all of Fifth Avenue. That's not true. They're expecting to close certain streets. If we want to see it, maybe Kevin will share a screen and put it on there. But they're not definite about it until the day of the event, because it would be up to the New York police to decide which streets are open and which is not. So what we were asked if we would vote on this today, if anybody wants to see the street closures, we would vote today and on Wednesday hear them and be able to make up our mind differently or whatever if we want at that point. Any questions about that? These are the street, to say I didn't memorize it, but there's different street closures, and there was discussion last year about it, but it's going to be up to the New York NYPD to decide which ones they'll actually do. So this is not the final amount.
So,
But it doesn't say whether it's closed on this map. It doesn't show whether it's going to close or not. Is it showing where it is?
Yes. Isn't there streets? Look on the left-hand column.
I know, I see a lot of streets, but it doesn't say what's closing, which ones are closing, which ones are open.
well, yeah, where it says no activity, do those streets remain open?
I assume so. Kevin, do you know?
So,
that means probably no police or nothing there. Oh, well, there is police patrol on one of them. I don't know. I didn't even think of that, Judy.
So my
Kevin?
suggestion is if you have any questions about this document they sent me, because I'm also a little bit confused about how they wrote it, to ask them tomorrow. But it appears to me if it says no activity, then there isn't anything there. If it says barricades or crosstown bus, then I'm assuming there's something there. And this is for Fifth Avenue, right? They said for the museums, for each of the museums, there will be the specific streets around them for the museums will be blocked off. So for the Met and the all the museums, those streets will be blocked off.
Are you sure that's where they're going to do it?
That's what they told me. Yeah, for the
what they said.
museums, the streets close to the museum will be blocked off, and then everything else will depend on this document. So for 96 and 97th, it says barricades. But again, I would ask them directly at Wednesday's land use meeting if you have any follow-up questions about this specific setup.
Yeah, because some of these streets are east-west streets, so obviously they would have to have, like, you're not going to be able to drive from Madison to Fifth. So for the east-west streets, I assume that those are going to have to be blocked off regardless. So I think we just ask them, as you said, Kevin.
That was our discussion last time, is how do you get around? I mean, some of it was illogical and there was a lot of discussion about it. So when I saw that they said Fifth Avenue from 79th to whatever,
109th, yeah.
I said, that's not right. That's not all
That's the
the,
way it used to be, but they changed it over the last couple of years since after the pandemic.
Barbara,
Yeah.
this activity now, years ago, they had activities out in the street. I remember kids painting pictures and drawing chalk pictures on the street and whatever. Is this now that the museums are all going to be open? Actually, you can go into the museums. You can go into the Jewish Museum or the Cooper Hewitt.
Yes.
that's what Museum
Everyone.
Mile is. You could go from museum to museum free. You don't have to pay. And they do have events in the museum. I know Guggenheim had a lot of activities outside. I remember them talking about it.
Okay.
So I don't remember.
If this is going to be heard at land use, that's May 8th, right? That's
Yes,
Wednesday.
there's a couple of days.
Wednesday.
I
Yeah.
assume, Kevin, that this would be the first item.
No, this is coming after
No.
the presentation.
It's yeah.
So they're not making a present. We didn't ask them to make a presentation at land use. We wanted them to be there to answer questions if there were outstanding questions following this meeting. There's nothing scheduled on the land use agenda for them to make a presentation. But so if we have questions, you guys should plan to vote on something here for this item and the other item that's missing.
I think there's enough questions already asked and really not answered to, that on Wednesday we can get a clearer understanding of how this is working out. Because I can't see voting for anything at this point because I don't understand what's going on.
Well,
So during your committee reports, you guys can make a motion at that point to say yes, say no. But what we will do is we'll make sure that the folks that met and the folks for the other item get a copy of the video from tonight where your discussions are raised and they can respond to them. And hopefully that'll get everything cleared up by Wednesday. The only reason why we're doing this under such an accelerated timeline is that their events are coming up very soon. And so even if we waited until full board, we wouldn't have had answers.
Does it say anything when the actual street is closing? It says no activity or crosstown bus. I don't see where it says street is closed.
From
Am I
6
right?
to 9 at the top. It says 6 to 9 p.m.
Where?
No, which streets are closed?
On the top of the piece of paper. Museum Mile Festival map, Tuesday, June 18th, from 6 to 9 p.m.
That is what I'm asking. Like, is 94th Street, is that street closed? Where does it say that the street is closed and nobody could drive on that?
It doesn't necessarily say it's closed. It just says, for example, 94, you said 94th Street, right? And it's right there, it says no activity. So I'm presuming that means there's going to be that's not going to be affected. But because there's the Jewish Museum in 93rd and 92nd, so they have to write down on 94th no activity because they're not doing, I'm presuming that means they're not doing anything to that, they're not affecting that street, even though it's close to the Jewish Museum.
Okay.
But I would ask them during a meeting to clarify.
Yeah, because I don't see anything that says this street, they talk about crosstown buses, no activity. I don't know if what the blank parts mean, although that's all above us.
It's all very confused anyway, because in one way they say it's going to be closed down from 79th to 109th, and then this is broken down, but it's not giving any closures of which streets. So
that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. So
we should wait till Wednesday.
Yeah, wait till
That's
Wednesday,
my
but we
question.
should vote now. Am I right, Will and Kevin? We should
In
take.
terms of the time, from what she told me, and again, you should follow up with them on Wednesday, but they said it's dependent on NYPD. So they're expecting the closures to occur at 6, but she was telling me that, for example, last year, one of the closures for one of the sets of streets that were going to be closed, that was delayed to 7:30. So I think the takeaway is it depends on NYPD, but that's something you should follow up with if that's your concern.
Who at the police department, Kevin, would we follow up with? The commanding officer?
No, so on
No,
Wednesday,
that has nothing to do with us.
the
With the
reps
police
for the Met,
department,
I
that's
think
their
they would
business.
have the answers to all of that.
Who, the
Yeah.
person from the Met? Who is that person?
They're I think it was called their events planning team.
Yeah, this
working on
isn't
this.
just the Met. You understand,
But
Judy?
if,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's-
I understand, Barbara, but if they're being responsible for all the other museums, then maybe you or Wilma should talk to somebody at the Met and get further explanation on this.
But
Because
then it means we have to get it from all of the museums. It's
no,
several
not if the
museums.
Met. No, Wilma, what I'm saying is that the Met may be acting as the key museum for all the other
I
museums.
don't know if that's true,
No,
Kevin.
no,
Is
I
that
don't think
true?
so.
I think there's an overall event person that's doing it.
Yeah,
Event
and
crew.
that person may be from the Met.
Well,
So
I
why
don't
don't
think
we
he
try
was.
All right.
and get in touch with that person?
No, I
Can
don't
I
think so.
can I jump in for a second? Can I
Sure.
jump in for a second? What I want to do is make a resolution to approve this in concept and then speak to it if seconded.
Second,
Okay,
see.
perfect. So I think that the thing here is that we don't have enough clarity on what streets are going to be closed. But the truth is that no matter what, whether or not we close all of Fifth Avenue off or parts of Fifth Avenue off, it's going to be a mess traffic wise anyway. And I think we just sort of accept that when we approve this, whether or not there's places to go down on Fifth during this period of time or not. It's about 4 or 5 hours that area is just going to be kind of a mess to drive around in traffic. So I think in concept, it doesn't really matter where these closures are, except for public information so that people can know when they're actually driving on the road that day what streets to move on. But I think for the purposes of accepting this resolution or accepting this application, we just have to understand that like that area is just going to be a mess at that period of time. I'm okay with it for this event, and so therefore I would approve this in
Okay.
concept.
And I would
without
have a
this
whereas that said, because they are not here, we didn't get our questions, and so we do approve it.
We have one
Exactly.
comment.
Sure.
What did he say?
Well, I just want to raise just a concern that if there's no representative here to answer questions and to give clarity, how is this even going to affect, the crosstown buses, people getting around? They're proposing this for June 18th, which is not that far away.
I can answer that question.
Okay.
It's 100% dependent on what the police department says. And although we're giving it at the last minute, is what they are saying it's going to be closed or not closed. First of all, if the museum model is that whole section where the museums are, and people are going to be on the street, they're not going to have traffic going up and across. They're really not going to be going up and down, but the problem is, are they going to be going cross town, back and forth? And but
okay, it's also to
the only way it's going to be able to answer this is the police department.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Making those decisions for the police department, what they're going to close or not close.
Who in the police department said to? Because I'm also concerned, 21% of the community here is elderly, and it's good to let them know and caregivers if there is going to be a disruption with transportation and just for other folks. So,
yeah.
So who in the police department?
There will be signs up. I'm not sure which person exactly. They have whatever team it is. And come on Wednesday and we'll
Barbara,
hear.
it's the community affairs unit. If you call the 19th precinct and you ask for the community affairs unit, they're the ones who review all SAPO applications, and they're the ones who decide, which streets will get shut down and which ones won't.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's not just for me, but just also, like I said, elderly, retired, people with disabilities. Sometimes they need prior advance notice to make their
the museum is involved for many
thank you.
years.
Thank you for answering those questions. That's, just to give some context as to why I'm asking. For some of us, it's easy, you know, to have last minute decisions, but some people need to know. So thank you.
Wilma, you had something to say?
No, I was just saying that it is also the responsibility of the police department to get that information out to the public as soon as possible, because you know there are a lot of people that are be going to this, and they need, if there was some kind of map ahead of time to show, but there's really not that much time, so it's happening next month.
I
So
know,
you know,
but unfortunately, Wilma, tonight the police department has got their hands full with
well,
museum.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking
The
about that. They have
gala.
a whole month to find this out.
We know that.
Even though we're having a meeting Wednesday, we ask some questions, but as far as the minutes and who's going to be closed, they can't do it tonight. We can't even vote today. What are we voting on?
Well,
what would we be voting on?
Concept. So we have a resolution on. Did we vote? We didn't vote for it yet. We have a resolution to vote in, that we approve in concept of the mile, but when we hear more, and I would say whereas because they didn't come.
And Barbara,
and I think we can add us
because it's going to be presented on Wednesday, for questions to be answered.
That's right, but we were asked to do this today. Judy?
I think that you could call the community affairs officers
I don't
tomorrow.
think so.
No, what we were
No.
told is they may not know until the last day. Judy, they're not going to know today. So I could call all I want and then we're not going to get the full answer. And that isn't they will tell us on Wednesday what they know. What they've also said is whatever they say on Wednesday may not happen because if the police say this is much better to close this street instead of that street, they're going to make the change.
Exactly. Right.
Am I right, Will and Kevin?
Yeah, so their application is actually to close all of it, but they recognize that the NYPD doesn't have the manpower to actually man each of those locations throughout the duration of Museum Mile. And so what they do is they close down just specific sections of it. But in concept, you are all basically approving them closing down any section along Fifth Avenue between the top of the Museum Mile and the bottom of Museum Mile. And then there will be some level of specifics that only will be decided the day of the event by NYPD with the number of units that they have available of people to go out and shut down either more of it or less of it based on, you know, who they can muster to be there to actually shut down those intersections.
That really makes sense. Very good. Thank you.
I think what Will just said makes an excellent resolution.
Yes, it does. And I second it.
Will's resolution, pardon me, Addison, but I think the way Will explained it was good.
Yeah, Will explained it better.
To say
I think we're saying the same thing. Yeah.
That we're approving it and we'll leave it to the New York Police Department to make the decision based on their knowledge and ability.
Okay.
Is that right? Or do you want to put it a different way?
Barbara, why don't you and Will work on it, and whatever the two of you come up with, that's fine.
I have to do it tonight, Judy.
I know.
Well, I have to sit by tomorrow morning, so please.
You can talk to Will after this is over.
Directions of what I should be doing.
And not just up to Will to do it. And Barbara, it's a group.
We'll have something and somebody can change it on Wednesday, if you don't.
There you go. Thank you, Barbara.
So we're all voting yes? Anybody voting
Yes.
no? Okay. Number 3, what do we do, Will and Kevin?
So she is here, so.
Oh, wonderful, thank you.
Great.
Okay. This is the AH Volunteer Fair sponsored by the Advent Hope Incorporated, which is a full street closure on 87th Street between Lex and Park. And it is June 1st from 11 to 2. Remember this from last year. Thank you. You want to tell us about it?
Yes. Hi, good afternoon. So I am Director of Community Service and Engagement for Church of the Advent Hope. And our goal is to provide volunteer opportunities to the community and everyone and ways they can get involved with various organizations, with different organizations in the community. So the purpose of the fair is for various organizations to come out. They have a table with information on how people can get involved. They can sign up to volunteer. They can find out more information about the organization. We plan to have live music, which is a jazz band. Advent Hope is known for the Carnegie Hill concerts. I don't know if you guys have attended any. They provide free Carnegie Hill concerts once a month with various artists. So the goal is to have live music and just people interacting on the street, checking out the different organizations. And we'll provide face painting for the kids.
Any food?
No food.
And a permit for the jazz band?
I'm sorry?
The permit for the jazz?
Yes, we will be getting, yes, the permit for the jazz band, yes.
Okay.
We did have it last year. We got rained out. Last year we had it late May. So we had to move the organizations indoors, but the music was still going on outside.
Okay. Thank you. And it was
Thank you,
successful.
too.
I know you were bringing in a lot of organizations last year. I remember it.
Yes, it was successful. We actually made some great connections with individuals from the community as well. We also do some work at P169M Robert F. Kennedy School. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that school. Children with behavioral issues attend that school. So we had received a grant to update their library. We're planning to do tutoring program to help the kids with their reading, and through the fair we were able to make some relationships with individuals in the community who actually came and helped with painting the school library. So that was great. So the kids have a brand new library there, and we will be looking to sign people up from the community to help with reading to the kids and help with tutoring to help them learn how to read as well.
That's great. Yeah. Any questions?
One member of the public.
In regards to the children or minors and the face painting, is this a vendor that's going to be doing that, or?
So we have.
I'm familiar with Robert Kennedy School, but just to be clear, so is there a vendor?
Oh, so no, it's not a vendor, and so we have individuals from our church who are teachers, or artists. So they will be providing the face painting service.
So this nonprofit organization from the church is going to have their staff doing the face painting?
Right, members. So we have
members or teachers, like
members.
So we have individuals who attend
who
our
are the individuals though?
People from our church community, that volunteers that signed up to help out at the fair.
So it can be anyone?
Correct, but the people who are chosen are from teaching background profession.
And are they vetted?
Yes. Vetted.
Are they what? Are they what?
Are they vetted to be able to make sure that it's appropriate to be around children?
Yes, we actually do have a service through our conference that makes sure that anyone who will be around children go through a vetting process.
A formal background check to make sure, if you know.
It's not really a background check, it's more of a program, but we can go through that process if that is needed as well.
Yes, because also speaking as someone
we've had a lot of programs over the years, and including this year, that have events similar, face painting, balloons, whatever, and it was never a problem because, like she said, they know the people. There's volunteers There are teachers, there's people that they are familiar with, and they're very careful when who is going to be with these children. So it is a good question that you asked, but I don't think that you should come and go so you can see for yourself, so you won't be worried. They're very careful. All these programs that deal with the kids, and each program has an event for the children in their programs. So and then it's a concern, you ask a question, but I hope that your question is being answered. But there's never been a problem with
Right.
anything like this, but it's a good question.
No, thank you for explaining that. But this year's different. Just some of the things that have just happened in Manhattan recently have just raised just some security concerns, and just coming to the appropriate venue to ask, just the way that we would. It's because also to just keeping contacts, just a lot of the things that have just been happening.
Of course, yes, understand.
So that's why I understand that last year that, this is a relatively safe community, and, like to keep it that way for everyone. And, this is the appropriate time and venue to just ask.
Sure.
And that's all, because, we're not in, this is a different time. A lot of things have changed, and, that's why maybe some of these questions that wouldn't have been asked before, seeing just what's going on around.
Right. I totally understand, and but
and that's all. It's not to single out or to bring negativity. Just
it's a concern, so that's good that you answered
it's just a question.
Outdoors, I think it's a safe. All of these are outdoors and in public and things like that. But thank you.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we're very big on at our church as well, because we have a lot of children in our community. We always make sure that the individuals who are around the children make sure that they have there are requirements for individual to be around children from our conference, and we make sure that those are met as well.
Thank you. I have a question.
Thank you very much for that.
Where are your monthly concerts you have? Where are they, and how do we find out about it?
The Carnegie Hill concerts are held at the church, 111 East 87th Street. There is a website, I believe is Carnegie Hill Concerts.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at it now. But they happen once a month.
And 111 is your church, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. It's in your church? Oh.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. So the website is carnegiehillconcerts.org.
Good. Thank you.
Any more questions for the public? If not, I'd like to move to approve.
I'll second.
I'll second. And call the question.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Judy.
Anybody voting no? Not for cause. And there's still 5 of us on, Kevin?
Yeah, 5 people.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you. Any other questions? New business? Again, thank you, Edison, for that form. I think it was helpful. Was helpful for me. I prepared by looking at the forms to see what was going on. Thank you for everybody that was here, and
okay.
Forward to all of them.
Good night.
Rain each day.
Okay.
Yep. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay. Bye-bye.